Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Here's everything I watched in January of 2025. The first movie I watched of 2025 was The Battle of Algiers. Now, this is a pretty good movie, all things considered. I did enjoy it, but man, I felt like so lost a lot of times. Like, I understood stuff, but like this is all based on real events, and I got no clue about any of it. I really wish I had a better understanding of the historical context, because I feel like that would have made it work so much better. But I felt like, yes, I know what's going on, but I don't like completely understand everything. So yeah, just having historical context would have helped. It's also just like I didn't feel super attached to the characters, which I think is a hard thing to do when you're basing something off of real life, because you don't want to misrepresent people, because these are real people. They're not, just characters. So I think that's something that is hard. It just would have been nice, better historical context and better characters. And then I watched Through the Glass Darkly, which I really, really enjoyed. Ingmar Bergman does something really interesting here. It's just about a woman who has, like, they don't really specify, but it seems like it's like schizophrenia or just some sort of, mental problems. And it's really fascinating and, disturbing and unnerving at times. And there's just some really great stuff here. I think my favorite part of it is just the camera work. I think it is shot absolutely beautifully. I think Ingmar Bergman has always been good with that. Like, all of his movies I've seen have just been, like, the visuals are nothing crazy. They're pretty simplistic, but they are just really well done. They're just really well constructed shots. And yeah, this is just a fascinating movie. Ingmar Bergman, he does just a great job with these small scopes. Like, we're just focused on this family and sort of their problems, and it's great. Persona feels so different from the other Ingmar Bergman films I have watched, and that is not completely a bad thing. I didn't like it as much of his others, but it's still good, I think. I have a hard time because I really don't think I understood it very well. I wish I did. I wish I could have some sort of really intelligent take on this, but I don't know. This actually kind of goes against what I just said about a lot of the simple camera work stuff. This is very art house, very kind of just out there. Ingmar Bergman just goes like all the way with it, and it's different in the sense that I feel like a lot of his movies they feel more personal, and I don't know how else to say that. I guess they're mostly focused on relationships between family, and I think having this where it's not so much about that, it feels very different. I think it's also a much more intellectual movie rather than emotional, and I think for me personally, Ingmar Bergman has always done really, really well with emotions. That's what makes his movies super great to me personally. Persona is still not bad, but it's not something that I personally like, or at least not like a whole lot. It's still pretty good. Taste of Cherry is a very subtle yet powerful film, I think is the best way for me to put it, just because all the aspects about it, like the dialogue, the characters, the visuals, I would say they are all very, very simple. There's nothing too crazy or over the top about them. It doesn't feel like there's some, big artistic swings with it, or they're trying to reinvent something. No, they're just simple, but through those, they're able to deliver really powerful emotions and ideas through that simplicity again. It's pretty incredible. I think even though the visuals are simple, those were the number one standout for me. It's just a very beautiful, warm film. They just make like the tans and the oranges just look so, so good. It's incredible. I will say I maybe wasn't as into the story at first. I don't know exactly what it was. Maybe it was something about the characters. Like, I can't really place my finger, but I just wasn't into it at first. But then as it went in, the movie, it pulled me in more and more. And by the end, I was, fully involved with it. I was truly engaging with it. And so that was really good. And I think the story, once again, it's simple, but it's an interesting concept. It's just a guy, he's driving around and he needs to find someone who will bury him after he commits suicide. And obviously from that, it's a very heavy film. And it just works. I don't know, like, there's nothing too crazy about this film. It's really hard to talk about and really hard to describe, but I would say give it a watch and you will see what I'm talking about. And then I watched The Magician. Now, the general themes that I see people talk about when bringing up this movie is just like a lot of other Bergman's films about religion and faith and all that sort of thing. But for me, I felt the impressions that I got were more about art and the role of an artist to create these illusions or these fake emotions or ideas in the receiver, and sort of just like how there could be value in that, and all these other things that goes along with that. And I do think art is something you see come up throughout Bergman's films, but it seems to be more of sort of on the side. Like you see a lot of characters that are in the theater, which makes sense because Bergman was also involved in theater and he loved that. But or they're writers or something, and they take part in these different forms of art, and that does seem to be something that Bergman is interested in, obviously. So those are just the things that I was impressed with. Either way, I think it still works. The movie still works, and I still think those are interesting themes. That being said, there were times in this movie where I just kind of felt like it was maybe just spinning its wheels a little bit. Like I wasn't always into what was going on. I didn't really feel like there's a lot of point. But those were not super common. And, just generally I wasn't expecting too much. This isn't one of Bergman's most famous films. But yeah, it still is very good. Winter Light. This is Ingmar Bergman's finale to his discussion about religion within his filmography. This is sort of the pinnacle of it all, where everything comes to a head, and he just puts pretty much everything it seems he has experienced or his thoughts on religion within this. I'm pretty sure after this he would state that he was agnostic, which I think makes a lot of sense given what this movie is about. Just kind of about the silence of God, a person who feels like they just can't find that proof within religion, and I think it's really interesting. I feel like I should say that I am religious, and so watching movies like these where it's about people losing their faith, it is kind of interesting. What helps about Bergman's movies about religion, though, is that they are not like super boldly like against religion or super pro-religion. It's just more about Bergman's experiences with religion, and I think that makes it really approachable from like any level. Like whether you are super religious or not at all, you can still like get value from his movies. So I think that's just pretty cool. I haven't really said much about the movie itself, but it's just really good. It is like simple. As I said, it just puts all of Bergman's thoughts just right there, right at you. So yeah, give it a watch. And then I watched Playtime, which is quite possibly like the most unique movie I've ever seen, because it is just it's so strange and weird, but it is like just a spectacle to watch. It's a like mostly wordless comedy. It relies a lot on like, visual gags and physical comedy, a little bit of slapstick. Obviously, like it's not actually silent, so there is sound, and they do use that too at sometimes. But it is just like so surreal and weird, but it works so well. I wouldn't even say that I found it like especially funny. Like I got a few chuckles out of me every now and again, but it is just like I just love watching it and looking at it because it is so interesting. I don't have a whole lot to really like break down with it because I just haven't seen anything like it. I will say that I felt like maybe near the end I was kind of getting like my interest kind of fell off a little bit, but it wasn't a huge deal because the whole rest of the time I was just thoroughly enjoying it. And then finally, I watched Scenes from a Marriage by Ingmar Bergman, and I really wish I would have liked this more. I kind of had a hard time with this one. My interest was, I would say, like all over the place. I definitely started out positive. Actually, I feel like this is, one long movie, you could say. I did watch the TV version. So it's like a total of, 5 hours long, split between 6 episodes. And the first 3 episodes, I think I was pretty interested, and I was enjoying it, and I was like, yeah, this is good. And I was kind of waiting, okay, but where's it gonna really, start getting into it? Where we really start, doing things. Like, I don't know.
Jag måste tala med dig om någonting. Jag minns det så förskräckt ut, inget farligt.
Men det låter ju verkligen hotfullt. Vad är det du ska berätta?
And I'm not going to say that there's anything like especially bad. I think it's just this, for something that is this long, anything like any long movies, or in this case, a TV miniseries, with how long it is, it needs to be able to catch your interest. And so I feel like with anyone, if you're into it, that length is going to feel great because you get like 5 hours of just stuff you love. But for me, who was just a little bit unsure, that length really, really like weighs down on you. So I had just a little bit of a hard time with this one. Again, I really wish I would have liked it more. It does seem like an interesting character study, but I guess the characters just didn't catch me enough for me to care to really look into them. I don't know. Maybe I'll come back to it at some point, but again, yeah, I just wish I would have liked it more. And that's everything I watched in January of 2025. It's really good just to take a look at Ingmar Bergman's filmography. I'll probably be like keep watching his movies for a long, long time just because he's got so many. But yeah, he's quickly becoming one of my favorite directors. He has some really great stuff. I feel like I should also praise the actors that we see in his movies all the time, like Gunnar Bjornstrand, Max von Sydow, Liv Ullmann, and there's several others. I would have talked about it during the movies themselves, but we see the same actors recurring throughout all of his films, and they all do a great job. So I feel like I should just do them all together. They're all great. But anyways, if you like this video, you can tell me your thoughts in the comments. Remember to save the blobfish, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.